Hi everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. From past couple of weeks, I have been sharing real-world Snowflake data engineering scenarios. And in today's video, we are going to solve one more exciting and practical use case that not only is going to mirror real-world project challenge but also comes in your interviews. So if you're preparing for job interviews or looking to sharpen your hands-on skill, then this video is definitely for you. So recently, one of my mentees reached out to me with very interesting real-time challenge. He said that a client is sharing one CSV file with me in Stays, and that file is having all the column in single header. Or we can say that this CSV files where all the column names are in a single cell which can be separated by pipes or by comma. Now actual data is spread across the rows, so I need to dynamically create a table from this, and then I need to copy this entire data into the target table. Now we all know Snowflake can automatically detect schema using infer schema if we were having a proper structured file, means like we were having separate columns into the separate cells. But if we're going to try in this case, this is not going to work out. So how we are going to solve it? So well, that's exactly we're going to solve in this video, and trust me, this is something you will absolutely face in real time, real projects. So let's start with the basic, like what all steps I'm gonna implement. So very first thing, if you will look at my screen here, I do have three columns: column 1, column 2, column 3. That is in a single cell. Okay, and those are delimited by pipe, and in my output it should like column 1, column 2, column 3 in the Snowflake. So what all steps we going to perform? If you can see my screen on the notepad, so the first thing is I'm going to have a rough calculation. So you just pause this video and think how you can solve it. Okay, now the rough steps would be, I need to know the stage details. If I do have the stage, then I'm gonna create a directory table on that. Why? Because I would be extracting the file name and file path from this. Once I would be having a file path, the same file name I will be using as table name. Okay, so the first thing is I need to retrieve the file name from the stage. The same file name I'm gonna use as a table name. Now, the next I'm gonna write select $1 from stage. Why? Because I need to read the header line. That is going to give me all column. Means I would be getting like column 1, column 2, column 3, like that. Once I do have it, I'm gonna store it into a temp table. Okay, and then I will be counting that what is the array size. So first this entire I'm going to dump into the array for like into the array column, and then I'm gonna take the array size to find out how many columns we have. Once I do have the or just like ignore this step at this stage, I'm gonna have all the columns. Then I need to create a table command, like create table name. This table name is nothing but my file name, and then I will be writing the column name. So these columns coming from this array, I will be writing column 1 string, comma, column 2 string, like that. So I need to design this column definitions string. I have to build this column definition string, and that I have to use a loop. Why? Because I'm gonna write column 1, column 2, column 3. So how many times I'm gonna loop it? For that I need a array size. Nothing but a count of my columns. We will be solving everything. Okay. Once this is done, we created a table using a dynamic SQL. And after that, we will be just dumping a copy into command. Now we all know that this cannot be done automatically without stored procedure or function. So I'm going to write a stored procedure, but not directly jumping to it. I'm going to solve one by one step. So first thing, I do have this header stage. I called it as a header. For that, I have enabled the directory table. Now, if I run this list header command, I can see there is a one file called customer header. Okay, that is taking some time. Yep. So here we see this is a customer header. Now, I need to know the file path. If you will go back to here, the first step is file name, and the file name we have to find out the file path. Although you can see this header, customer header name and all, so we need to take only this customer header. Although you can use a string function here, but what if this, I'm using internal stage, but what if you do have an external stage, and in the external stage this name would be like s3 url and the folder name and that. So for that, we are going to use a directory table, and then I will be using this relative path. Now I'll show you what this relative path gonna do. So I'm going to use select relative path from directory header. This is just going to give you the name only. Okay, it is going to give me the customer header.csv. Now for it, I mean, in our case, this is exactly going to be the file name, but I just want, like, I wanted to make a generic procedure so that even if we are going to have an external stage, we're going to use it. So in simple word, okay, I have it now. Now, what would be my file name? It's not just a .csv. I want to remove it. To remove that, I'm going to use strtalk function. You can even use a split part. Okay. So here in this strtalk, I know this is going to be my table. So what I did, I converted this based on this delimiter and took the first part. So customer header is going to be my table name. Now let me just try, what if we're gonna use with the infer schema, how is it going to be work? So I do have this header, file format is CSV type, ignore case and all. Let me see that, what happened. Here, if I'm checking, the column name is coming C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5 and C6. I'm getting like C1, C1, C3, which is not exactly true. I want the column name with the perfect, like, okay, if I show you select $1 from header, let's see what we're gonna get. Okay, my bad. This is what we are getting, 100, and all, because we do have in this different stage. Sorry, we do have in the delimited and all. Although we're going to use the CSV1 parameter, which is not going to have, which is going to have a skip header equal to 1. So for this, what I'm gonna do, I will be taking the entire, like I'm gonna use a $1, but in this, I'm passing another file format, which is CSV type. Why I have to do it? Because I need to skip the header. I need to skip the header. So for this, even like if I going to show, one second. Yeah, here, if I just skip the header and then run this command, you focus on this command only. Select $1 as header line from header, file format and limit 1. So this is what I'm getting, and this is going to be my all column name, and the delimiter we do have in the pipe. So I have 6 column: customer ID, customer name, age, phone number, address and email. I'm going to store it into a temporary table. Then I will be finding the array size just like we have discussed over here. Store header line into a temp table. split header into the column name so that we can find out the array size. Means we need to like divide it into the one single columns and all. So for that, I mean, let me just run those basic queries and all. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to create this temporary table now, and let me select what we do have the data into it. It's just going to have this data. Okay. Now, first thing, I'm going to find out the split. Why we are going to split it? Because on the base of the pipe delimited, we are going to split that. So this is big. This become a complete array for us. And here we know it, this customer ID, customer name, like that, we're going to get this is going to be my complete array. Now, in this next query, I'm going to find out the array size, which should return me 6. That's it. So that means I do have the 6 columns. I'm gonna use the same string, and this is all rough calculation. Why we are doing, or why I'm showing you this rough calculation, so that when I'm going to convert all these steps into the stored procedure, you should know, you should exactly understand that why we have done all this thing. So till this point, we have reached that, okay, array size is 6. Now, should I use one, like, should I write a SQL statement in such a way, or we should write the statement in such a way that it should bring the first, second, third, fourth, and we are going to pass basically the position. So for the positions, we will be using a I, or like a iterate. We can take one variable called I. We will be starting with the 0, and as soon as it is going to iterate to first, second, third, fourth positions, but it should be only and only equal to the array size, right? Sorry, it should be less than array size, because it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should not be equal to. That is also one thing you're going to keep in your mind. Now let me just convert it into the complete stored procedure. So when I'm going to write it, I have to take some variables. So I'm going to use create dynamic table from header. You can take anything. Okay. And this is going to be the return string language SQL. In JavaScript, it is very, like, it is maybe very easy, but I'm sure that some people are not coming from the JavaScript background. That's why I'm writing into the SQL. So the first thing is, because whatever we have did over here, we're going to take a file name. We're going to take this file name will be the table name. So I need those two variables. The next variable is nothing but I wanted to be convert this into into the header line. So that I need it. Then the array size that I need means the count. So I'm going to use a file name variable, table name variable, header line, column list, column count. This column definition is used when we will be combining this entire, like, customer ID string, comma, customer name string, comma, a string, and like that. This I is when we will be doing a loop, so that it is going to give me the entire string. Similarly, I have created a create table SQL and copy into SQL, because this is what we will be running in the end. Now, we're going to remove it. So the very first step is get the file name from the header. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to take select relative path. So I have written this complete line, and just to make it very clear, we're going to write select relative path into file name. So whatever the variable name we have used file name, I'm going to store this value from here. So now into the file name will be my customer header.csv. Then next part, I'm converting that file name into the table name, but that I'm using a upper. So whatever we have did over here, this table name is what? With this one. So here we just converted into the upper. So this is the query which I'm executing to make my table name. So I will be having this customer header. Okay. Now, so the first step, I found my file name. Second, I need to determine the table name from the file name, because we have the customer header CSV, but here it should be customer header. That's why I'm using the upper also. Although it is totally up to you whether you want to use upper or not. Okay, because if we are not going to create any table into the double quotes, it will always be into the upper blocks. Okay. Now, next is we need to read the header line into a temporary table. And this is all we have already discussed, but we are combining these steps. And always remember, because we are not going to run it manually inside a procedure and we are asking procedures to run it. So we will be wrapping up into the execute immediate. And here I am doing the same statement. I'm creating a temporary header line which will be executing and store the data into the temporary header line. After this header line, whatever we do have this header line, we have like started pulling this. So we are going to get the column list. First, we are going to store this header line into header line variable, whatever data we get it. Now we are splitting that into this and we're getting a column list. We are basically parsing it based on this pipe delimited. If it is comma delimited for you, you're going to use that also. Okay, now next we have to find the array size. So till this, we have combined these steps. Till this, we have combined these steps, and I'm sure you would be all comfortable because we have discussed these steps outside of this procedure also. So it's nothing like you have written the stored procedure. We are not writing select because this is how we bind the values of into a variable in Snowflake procedure. This is array size column list. And now take it one more thing here in the array size, we were manually passing where we were hard coding it, but because we never know, they can be like 5 column or 6 columns. So that's why whatever this variable has information, we need to find the array size against this variable. Okay, now next is we need to build an entire column definition. So if you're gonna make a mistake over here, your table will be returning some error, or you miss one, let's say this comma, you missed it over here by passing this here, then you will be getting an error. So what I do is I am going to take variable called I, which is set by default 0. So first we need to start with the 0, and this is going to be the column count. So the column count in our case is 6. So first 0 is less than 6, yes, then it is going to begin, and the column name it is going to pick from here the column list 0. So whatever the column list we have at the 0 position, it will come over here. Then this is going to be taking another variable column def, and here it is passing column name string. So what it is going to be have, okay, now and we are enclosing the column name in double quotes, the best practice. I'll come to it. So what it will do is column, sorry, the first is, let's say it's a customer ID string. So this column def, column name will be returning the cust ID for the first block, but the column def will be making it cust ID, but we are enclosing into the double quotes like that string. So this is what we're gonna get it during the first iteration. Then next, it will be checking if I greater than 0, then add comma separator for all column after the first one. So we are going to get this comma after it. Otherwise, my entire string will be customer name string, age string like that. This is something gonna throw an error, right? We will be getting an error like the near the cust name, the string and all. Okay, so that's why we're going to add, or like you can say that in the column definitions, we are adding this comma. Okay, now in the end, the final column definition will be nothing but this column definition with this column def. And after that, my while loop will be closed. I mean, we're gonna set a next value. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as soon as this iteration got 6, which is basically less than the column count, or because we are not going to have a equal to, so this is not going to be like pass it, and it not gonna run it. After that, once we going to have it, so we will be having a column definition, the entire column definition, and then we said we gonna create a table. So whatever this column definition we're going to get it, customer ID and all, we going to create a table. So we are writing create or replace table. This table name we have already we have bind the file name variable value into this. So it is going to be create or replace table customer header, and in this column definition we are passing this entire one, means customer ID string, customer name string, comma, and all that. And then once this variable is created, we're gonna execute that statement. Here it will be just statement, means a string, but we have to execute this. So that's why we are writing execute immediate this variable. Now in the next one, once my table is created, so till this point everything is done. So last and the final point is remaining to load the data, and to load, you all know we have to perform a copy into command. Now, I have not used any existing file format, and it's totally up to you. I'm sure you all would be aware of it. That in this copy into statement, I'm writing copy into table name. Again, this table name is coming from the file format from this header, means from the stage file. Here, one thing. Now focus on it. This is what is going to be my file is. This is what, I'm sorry, like if I forgot to show it to you, but this is how my file look like. So I do not need this one. So would I be writing skip header equal to 1? Yes. And then I will be inserting this entire data. So here I am going to write a file format, type should be CSV, field delimiter is comma, but skip header equal to 1. So this gonna run copy into customer header from header. And if you have a file name, because there can be multiple file names, otherwise you can even remove it if you just have a single file, and then you execute it. So once this is all done, I want a return message that my file name, my table name got created successfully, and data also get loaded. Let's see that. I'm going to run this stored procedure. Okay, my function create dynamic, this has been created. I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to call it. Now, once I'm going to call it, then we will be seeing the stable customer header successfully created, and data also got loaded successfully from file this. Now to check it, I'm going to run the select star from customer header, and you see we do have this file. Okay, if you just wanted to do one more time, so let me do one thing. Drop table customer header, I'm dropping this table. There's no data into the customer header, right? I'm running this procedure one more time, and let's see that. Okay, I hope you have like you understood that what I have done. The only thing you need to understand in this while loop, that how I am building the column definitions. Rest I'm sure you would be able to understand. There is no rocket science. So you just have to like break this procedure into the small steps. Basically you can use these procedures and convert, or probably use a script like that to understand that what I'm doing at every steps. I hope you have understood this. So thank you for watching, and please share with your friends if you really find it useful. Also comment what other next scenarios you want me to cover. Have a good day.